Shanthagopi will share the screen.
Swaravindanayasya Pradaravinda Kinchkamishra Tulasi Magaranta Vayu. Okay, done.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 42.
42.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Matir madhupate sakrit.
Matir madhupate sakrit.
Ratim budvahata radda.
Ratim udvahat adda.
Gange vaugam udanvati.
Gange vaugam udanvati.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Matir madhupate sakrit.
Matir madhupate
sakrit.
Ratim udvahata dadda.
Ratim
udvahata dadda.
Gange vaugam udanvati.
Gange vaugam udanvati.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Tvai me ananya vishaya.
Matir madhupate sakrit.
Matir
madhupate sakrit.
Ratim udvahatat adda.
Ratim
udvahatat adda.
Gange vauham udanvati.
Gange vaugam udanvati.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So,
Jai.
Synonyms. Tvai, unto you.
Tvai,
unto you.
Me, my.
My.
Ananya Vishaya, unalloyed.
Ananya Vishaya, unalloyed.
Mati, attention.
Mati, attention.
Madhupate, O Lord of Madhu.
Madhupate, O Lord of Madhu.
Asakrit, continuous.
Asakrit,
continuously.
Ratim, attraction.
Ratim, attraction.
Udvahatat, may overflow.
Udvahatat, may overflow.
Adha, directly.
Directly.
Ganga, the Ganges.
Ganga, the Ganges.
Iva, like.
Iva, like.
The Ganges. Iva, like.
Ogam, flows.
Ogam, flows.
Ogam, flows.
Udanvati, down to the sea.
Udanvati, down to the sea. Jai, jai, jai.
Udanvati, down to the sea.
Translation. O Lord of Madhu.
O Lord of
Madhu.
As the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance.
As the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance.
Let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you.
Let my
Let
Let my
attraction be
attraction be
constantly
constantly drawn
drawn
unto you
drawn unto you
without being diverted to anyone else.
without
without
being
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 diverted to
diverted
anyone
to
else.
anyone else.
else.
Purport.
Purpose.
Perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all the scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical changes in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and the Rishnis is not out of the range of devotional service, because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than service to the Lord. But here, the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Rishnis was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the medium of the relation with the super soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pathat Swami Iti Namine Namo Acharya Paraya Nitaya Kripa Pradaya Gaura Katha Namakaya Nagara Grama Tarini Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvitesha Sunyavade Paschatya Desatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Srimad Suranam Mukam Karodi Vachalam I think in the Sri Guru Tarinam Paramananda Madhavan Sri Chaitanya Harium Tatsat. So this verse is just connected to the previous verse. There are two things that Kunti Maharani is telling, described in two verses as two different sentences. In the previous verse, Kunti Maharani, she has asked for Gaura. She has asked for,
Detachment.
Yeah.
Vrishni and Pandu.
Sneha Pasham Imam Sindhi Dridam Pandasu Vrishnasu. So she was asking for cut off my attraction for the Pandava family and Vrishni family. This is the first thing Kunti Maharani asked. Now the question is, okay, I cut off my relation with the material. What I will do? Isn't it? What I should do after detaching from the material world? So that is answered in this particular verse, that as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn into you without being diverted to anyone else. So when the Ganges is flowing to the sea, there are so many hurdles like rocks and thorns and forests and so many things, but nothing could stop the flow of the Ganges. Nothing could stop at all. And they are standing as if they are the stumbling blocks, nor they are disturbed by Ganges in its flow. The two things very beautiful. So that is the most important thing. So what she wants after forgetting all the relationship, so-called relationship on the material plane with Pandushu and Vrishnishu, because she knows that the human life is meant for re-establishing our relationship with God and not with anybody on this material, not anyone else. You see, being diverted without being diverted to anyone else. So she wants all her relationship to be re-established with only Krishna. So first of all, Kunti Devi desired that I have so much affection and love for my two families, my father family and my this thing, what do you call, husband family. Okay, so let me cut off. And after cut off, what you should do after becoming free? That is first. So Kunti Maharani is answering that also in this particular verse very beautifully. So, say for example, one is employed in a company, he feels inconvenience. This service is not very good. Then let me resign it. You resign, but you get a better service, then that resignation is all right. And if by resigning you become unemployed, isn't it? You are not engaged. How can you stay without engaged, without service? What is the value of the resignation then? What is the value of the so-called detachment? What is the value of becoming transcendental to the material plane if you are not taken up the service? So similarly, those who are frustrated, confused, they don't want this material world. So when Srila Prabhupada went, the hippies were on that particular plane. They didn't want the material world. But what I want, that we don't know. That is not understood. So Kunti Devi is very clearly telling here that let my this family relationship affection be nil, zero. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmadya. Let me not have any attraction to anyone else. Okay, and then anya vilasita, ananya vishaya. So no more attraction for anything else, only attraction for you, Krishna. That is what she's telling. Only attraction for you and no attraction for anyone else. This is wanted. This is called perfection. So Prabhupada immediately writing in the purport that perfection. Okay, so this is perfection. Perfection of pure devotional service. So that is attained only when all attention is diverted towards the transcendent loving service of the Lord, not all detachment you have acquired. When the attention is diverted towards doubt everything in the loving devotional service of the Lord. Okay, so then it is called complete. Then it is called perfect. So having affection for somebody else here based on material relationship and love Krishna, that is actually not possible. Prabhupada is very clearly telling. That is impossible actually. Because the feeling of affection will be there because he's part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna has the feeling of affection at the supreme level, unlimitedly. So as a minute particle, we have the feeling of affection. Okay. But that is a symptom of life also. But the symptom of life, is to be part and parcel of Krishna. That is very, very important. So what is here we need to understand is like Sanatana Goswami's teaching, the Sambandha Jnana. The Sambandha Jnana, not renunciation or detachment. So what is important is the Sambandha Jnana. We have relationship with Krishna that has to be revived. Then it has sense to cut off other relationship. Okay, even in Krishna consciousness society, we have cut off the relationship, so-called material, when they are not favorable towards Krishna consciousness. Okay, we don't call that as detachment because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, accept favorable, reject unfavorable. From that from only the devotees have rejected. They didn't detach. They didn't get detachment. They only rejected because the situation is unfavorable with the relatives when they don't cooperate. We have rejected only, but we have not actually cut off the affection. That is wanted. That is deeper inside. It is that. Rejecting is one thing. Okay. And cut off and doubtail all kind of love and attraction towards Krishna is a supreme thing, I can say. So this is very, very important. The Sambandha Jnana, in the knowledge of our relationship, there must be only Krishna. Okay, if I think of, who are all my relatives, if I think only my Guru, Gauranga, Krishna, then yes, I am right. Anybody else is coming, I am wrong. This is truly Kunti Maharani is very clearly exhibited here. The dovetailing everything without deviating to anyone else. Anyone else. So otherwise, what will happen if you just get detachment? Mayavadi want to get detached, okay, and they don't want to get attached to anything else or anybody else. They don't have access to Krishna. They don't have access to what is it called devotion service. So Rupa Goswami is also telling Anya Vilasita Sunyam. No other desire should be there. Yes, accepted. Jnana, karma, adi, anavritam. Okay. So in this material world, few are jnanis and few are karmis. Karmis means fools. Okay, because they don't have any knowledge about their own welfare. Unnecessarily working very, very hard. It is a suicidal attempt every birth after birth. That is why at every suicide, their normal death is also called suicide only, because they have not done anything for their own welfare. They have not taken into Krishna consciousness. They didn't approach any sadhu or Vaishnava. They didn't hear about Krishna. Life is meant for that. And they didn't do that, which means all their attempt have been killing themselves, killing the soul. Atmacha. Atmaha. So they were killing. So why should I work hard? I don't require so many things. The rich people are working hard, poor people are working hard. A beggar is also working hard. Those who don't have anything and those who have everything is also working hard. What is this? You cannot say that, okay, I'm working hard because I don't have for my maintenance, so I have to earn money. This is only external excuses. Okay, but the internal desire is to work hard for sense gratification, more and more and more and more, accumulate so much money, so much food, so much prestige. So when it is becoming so much and frustrated, you either becoming ani or a hippie, because no bhakti. Bhakti is beyond all these things. How can by doing all these things you get bhakti? So it is not possible. Anya vilasita, karma, jnana. Nothing can give you bhakti. Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam. That is bhakti. Okay. Attachment should be there. Okay. Detachment need not be there, but the attachment should be so chaste. Chaste means only to Krishna. That is chaste. Guru, Krishna Guru is the representative of Krishna. So chaste means the attraction towards only Krishna or the representative of Krishna. That is called chaste. Anywhere else you put attachment, then you become unchaste. It is very clear, It may be pinching the heart, but the harsh truth, And every Vaishnava knows this harsh truth very clearly. Anukulya means favorably, how Krishna will be satisfied. That is called favorable Krishna consciousness. Okay, always thinking of Krishna. Sadahari, Kirtaniya Sadahari. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told us that we should follow the gopis, because the gopis of Vrindavana, why we are following them? Because they are in the Anya Vilasita Sunyam platform. Okay, they had no other desire. Their desire was only one thing, how to satisfy Krishna. That's all. Whether it is Yashodamayi or it is elderly gopis or even gopas in there, everybody, they want to know how can I satisfy Krishna. Their only one desire, how to satisfy Krishna more and more. So even in this material world, we can simply increase the Krishna consciousness. Then we will automatically find ourselves in the spiritual world. So Prabhupada is telling that desires you cannot negate. Negating desire is Mayavadi. Okay, we don't need to negate the desire, but the desire should be changed to perform devotional service. I want to perform loving, pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service to Guru and Gauranga, Krishna. Okay, Gauranga means Krishna. So for that, so we have to show that to Guru first of all. See how much love I have for Guru. Then Guru is the person who can divert your love to Krishna. You cannot just directly get love on Krishna. Otherwise, what is the use of Evam Parampara Praptam? Krishna himself has told. Okay, so relationship with Krishna is for sure. But love for Krishna, Guru can give. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a Guru and he gave the love for Krishna. through chanting the holy name of the Lord without discriminating. Are we able to feel the love for Krishna after receiving it from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? We don't, because of our conditioned state. So can you go to the next slide? So because of the conditioned state. So what is that we need to do? We need to accept a spiritual master, and under his bona fide guidance, the devotional service should be performed. When we do that, the anartha nivritti, unwanted thoughts, unwanted unwanted thoughts and unwanted deeds will be removed as we progress under the bona fide guidance of the spiritual master. Then we get affection towards Krishna. That is where Anartha Nivritti Marga, then Nishtha, then Ruchi, then Asakti. Gradually, you will get attraction to Krishna. This happens because of the Guru. The Guru can only instill the fixed up in your service, devotional service, and he can give you the Asakti, he can give you the Ruchi, taste on the holy name, chanting the holy name of the Lord and performing devotional service, and then bhava, and finally you get karma. So this is the process which we Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught to Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami has taught to his followers, and Srila Prabhupada has practically established the same thing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has practically established by 100 years. So that this is very much wanted. Is it the last paragraph or what? So yeah, Shanthagopi, you would like to take it further from here?
Yeah. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshushrumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Mugam Karodi Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataga Swami Dinamine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Kada Gamadaya Nagragrama Tarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarane Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So very, very beautiful verse where last verse Kunti Maharani requested Krishna. Krishna is personally present in front of her, but she requested that let her cut the knot of Snega Pasam. Pasam means the rope or the knot or the tie. So this Pasam, Sneha, that affection which I am having for the Vrishnis and Pandavas, Pandus, which are making me make a decision whether even Krishna need to stay or Krishna need to go. That is to protect my family or protect my in-laws family or my maternal family. So beyond that, she wanted to have that personal loving relationship with Krishna. So see, the verse is so pretty. This is one of the verse which all of us should sing this song. Sing this. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. What a prayer, what an amazing prayer. Just look at this, how the Ganga is flowing. Like she's just flowing towards the ocean. And without any hindrance. There may be some hindrance, but she finds a way to go further. So, Tvayi me ananya vishaya matir madhupate asakrat ratim udvahatat ada gange vahum Udanvati. So like how a lot of Madhupate, she's calling. Madhu actually means of many meanings. Other main is honey. Honey. In material world, they call the wife or the girlfriend as honey. Dear Madhupati, the word is used for Krishna. The Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance. Let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without diverted to anyone else. So it doesn't mean, Prabhupada is mentioning the purport, cutting the affection doesn't mean that leaving them or acting harshly towards them or hating them. This is not. Loving Krishna doesn't mean that you're hating everybody. Krishna's part and parcel. How can you hate a part and parcel and still love Krishna? Same way, external energy of Krishna is also energy of Krishna. You cannot hate it like Mayavadi sannyasis or jnanis, yogis. They act against the material nature. They consider material vilifying the material nature. But actually, material nature, of course, she acts as a villain or a villi in the order of Krishna. So she is a pure devotee. She is executing her duty as a service to Krishna as instructed by Krishna. So we should never misunderstand and put the blame on her. Rather, we should understand that wherever Krishna is there, she is missing. So if we are always, whenever any trouble which we are having is due to only one root cause. There are many causes like sin is the reason, this is the reason, that is the reason. There are thousands, but my karma, this, that, whatever it is, there is only one root cause. If you eradicate that one root cause, everything else is solved. So that is what she is solving here. Why Krishna should protect them at all? Because if there won't be any trouble only. Why? How? Only one root cause is there. You eradicate it like there. You may find a rope which is getting so much entangled. But there is one knot, master knot. You remove the master knot, then all the other knots will come out. So if you do that, so that is what is that? Which is that one knot which we have done, one thing that we have forgotten Krishna. So remembering Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. He is the master of all the instructions given by Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami. The topmost instruction. Yes, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So she is fearing that this kind of material, not fearing, it is true that the material attachments will gradually move us away from Krishna consciousness. At the same time, in the Krishna consciousness, if you love Krishna, it is like pouring water to the root we saw, or giving food to the stomach. Automatically, other limbs are nourished, which means that we won't hate everybody. Our love and affection for others will be perfect in nature. The best example is Guru Maharaj. The affection which Guru Maharaj gives is uncomparable to our father, mother, brother, sister, uncle, auntie. Anybody you take is the most affectionate person in your life. You can't compare even a 0.0001% of the affection and love Guru Maharaj gives us. In yours, something is happening. So it is, you mute it. So this is what is. So nobody can give as much as love Krishna can give. And when we become a devotee of Krishna, the love which we exhibit towards other living entities are perfect in nature. Perfect in nature. So a typical preacher or some devotee, many devotees who are doing some social media posts yesterday I met. So they were mentioning the foreigner girls, and they were telling that we are posting some reels and all that. But mostly the Indian boys, they ask us to get married to them. So whenever somebody is not a devotee of Krishna, but they are very attractively good looking, then the boys wants them to be girlfriend, and they don't.
Hare Krishna,
mute. Haribol, mute Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay. So when we see that, when we see some boy is looking at a very attractive girl, then mostly they would like the girl to be the girlfriend rather than the wife. Wife is a very respectable position. Moreover, I have to share the life throughout. So they want with some good character and behavior and affection and proper means guna. Guna means qualities, more than character, qualities. So when they see Krishna conscious devotees, they are so qualitative that they never ask to be a girlfriend or I love you or something nonsense, no nonsense. So I asked, is there any I love you? No, she said, no, I love you only. They don't say that we love you and all, never. But they just ask one question, will you marry me? So I was thinking how this is that in a respectable position of sharing the life, I want such a person with me. This is possible by devotee because the love and affection which they exhibit towards the Supreme Lord is so beautiful that they naturally care for other living entities. So this is transcendental in nature, but people want for lusty greed. That lusty idea is already there. If he's not chanting, if he's not a devotee, we cannot expect very good quality. There is always dirt inside, and outwardly they'll post very good, but internally it's all dirt only. This is confirmed, 100% confirmed. Even if somebody is a yogi who's sitting in Himalayas, leaving all the family and meditating, still is contamination within the heart. It's proved by Prabhupada is comparing two different people, two different kinds of transcendental list, who spiritual persons who have left the family and gone. So, but Haridas Thakur, he was like chanting Hare Krishna always. Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly. Despite he was born in a Muslim family. But there is another what is that? Vishwamitra Rishi. He was a Rishi, a great person. Everybody was obeying, and he was totally detached. But some Menaka, somebody came, some Indra wanted to break his chastity. Then he sent this means tapasya. Then Indra sent Menaka to dance, and then he got attracted by the ankle bells of Menaka. Then he gradually came out and he wanted to have a life of intercourse and things like that. And we got a child and abandoned so many. And there is a wrong story given in India also, especially in our books and schools, which is very wrong. It is not true. The word Bharata is mentioned by Bharata Maharaj, son of Rishabhadev. Not that some Sakuntala, Dushyanta, some nonsense they're telling. Some nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. So it is not authorized. Then many unauthorized information in order to confuse us, so that we feel ourselves very low. Like this is given. But we are from Manu. So there is a standard, there is a quality. Okay. So in this way, the Krishna devotees are very, very wonderful. And we see the affection which Guru Maharaj gives to everybody, including other living entities. Even birds and animals, like when there was a Gulab Khali, there was an elephant. And Guru Maharaj, when he was before the stroke, he was all right. He used to go and chant, and he was to be there with the elephant, maybe 5-10 minutes a day, like this. And that elephant is so very obedient, so very sweet. In Parikrama, Guru Maharaj used to come with that elephant. So this elephant, one day Guru Maharaj had not come, but the Parikrama has started because it was becoming late. And already they received the message that the Guru Maharaj will come and join you. You start going. So we started for Yoga Peeth. Then only on the first day the elephant will come, not all the days. So we just started for the Yoga Peeth a little, and Guru Maharaj is going to come and join. And everybody was ready to go. And the person who was herding the elephant was telling, just move. And it was not moving. It was just slowly walking or not walking. And as soon as Guru Maharaj from behind he came and joined, he just realized on the side, Guru Maharaj has come to its side. Immediately equal to Guru Maharaj started walking from the main gate. It was so beautiful scene to see that 3-4 minutes, it was not moving, despite everybody was ready to move. And Guru Maharaj said, just start, I'll come and join. And I'm just here. I've already started from my room. From Lotus building, he's just coming to the main gate. And from main gate, he turned right and go towards the Yoga Peeth. And the elephant, it was cheating. It was not moving. And once Guru Maharaj joined, pakka walking. Straight, clear, straight walking. And it looks like 2 elephants were walking. We were behind. And I felt like 2 elephants were walking. One elephant maddened with love of Gauranga and surrendered to Guru, that Guru Maharaj. And another elephant, which is very affectionate to a pure Vaishnava. In this way. So every living entity gets attracted and affectionate. Veera, we are singing the Sadgoswami Ashtakam, 6 Goswamis. They are not detached people who went to Vrindavan and renounced everything and sat under a tree, not talking to him. No, they were very jolly people. They are very loving and affectionate to everybody. To whom? Dira, dira jana priya, priya karau, nirmatsarau pujitau. Dira, dira jana priya. There are some people who like very Vedic people. If you wear sari, I will talk to you. Otherwise, I won't talk. You are wearing jeans, you may not be a devotee. So not like dira, dira. Dira is also there. Like we have asura and sura. So when Narada Muni can go into a demigod's planet also, he can enter. And Narada Muni can also enter Asura's house and have a very beautiful, loving relationship. Not defining, put a square and put everybody inside a square and define them according to my opinion like this. And you hate others and you love certain people. So even non-devotees are future devotees because they are Jiva. Jiva, Sarupavai Krishna Nityadas. So what right you have to disrespect anybody? You don't have the right to disrespect anybody because they are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. They may consider themselves to be a body and be in false ego. That is a temporary conditioning. Material world is temporary. And even this situation of a spirit soul is temporary in nature. So we don't know. He may become a very pure devotee more than us. Who knows? So that is why we should not disrespect anybody. It's very essential to see in spiritual vision that part and parcel of Krishna. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, it doesn't mean that when we say that, my dear Lord, cut the snega pasam, my snega and pasam with Vrishni Shupandushu, doesn't mean that hate people or leave everybody and detach and like this. The word detachment and attachment, both are not applicable in Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna is telling a person who is neither attached nor detached is dear to me. Neither attached. Okay, we all talk about attachment to material, not detached. But we miss half portion of Bhagavad Gita. So a person who is not detached also, how it is possible then? Because very simple. The devotee is attached to Krishna. That is the definition of a devotee. Is attachment to Krishna. A person who is detached from material may be a transcendentalist like in Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga, like this. That kind of yogis who leave everything physically and go to forest and stay in solitary place and chant alone. Even so-called devotees who are mixed devotees, they go leave everything. So, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. But when you see your relatives or friends, they are favorable for Krishna consciousness, that can be encouraged. We can be affectionate towards them. But not as attached that I will forget Guru, I will forget Krishna, my yatra leader, my senior person. He is making me forget my Guru. Such a relationship is useless. If he is bringing me closer to Guru, if I have a Siksha Guru, or if I have an instructing, somebody is guiding me, if they are bringing me closer to Guru, not by bogus sentiment or so that they can promote themselves, but originally, genuinely, then they can be taken as a guide. And if Guru is missing, but he's a big leader, he is giving bhashan, vishan and all, in no use. A branch if is cut from the tree is actually one day or other will dry up. So we should not be part of such dried up branches. For future it is going to be dried up. So we should be very, very careful that, am I connected with Guru Maharaj? Am I connected with Guru Maharaj? If I am not connected with Guru Maharaj, whatever leader, connected, which actually means physically Guru Maharaj is coming every day in the Zoom and he is giving class. He is giving every day lecture. But you are missing the entire thing. What is the use of you being a disciple? What is it? And you want to guide others, guiding the blind. So very, very dangerous. So we should be very careful. That here she is telling that Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. So she is telling perfection of beautiful service to attain when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affection does not mean complete negation of finer elements like affection for someone else. There can always be genuine affection, not duplicate. Not duplicate affection. Sometimes they say, no, Mataji, I'm showing so much affection to them, for preaching purpose. No, They are part and parcel of Krishna. You can be affectionate to them. What is wrong? What is wrong? Being kind to another living entity, what is wrong? But it should not deviate us from the affection towards Guru and Krishna. That full attention, affection is with them only. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning like affection for someone else. That is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. This is a symptom of life. Where a yogi or a jnani who is considering them to be a transcendental person, they cannot understand this. And this is spiritual progress. Spiritual. The word spiritual is a kind of misleading and dangerous. Whereas a devotional service, the word devotional service is the perfect word to represent Krishna consciousness. Because spiritual has many other deviated practices, like you have jnana yoga, kashta yoga, karma yoga. There are many other yogic processes, also transcendental processes. They are spiritual processes, but they are not devotional processes. So here, the symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, hankering, feeling of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Like a beautiful example, how Supreme Lord Kapila, he appeared to Devahuti. Devahuti was serving her husband very sincerely, Kardamuni. But already, before Kardamuni got married, he got from Lord appeared and said that I will become your son. Despite that, there is no, he was practicing only whatever spiritual practices which he was doing, and she was assisting. But one day, he got inspired to ask her, you have pleased me so much, would you want anything to be pleased? Then she expressed that I want a child. This is, we cannot say that Devahuti, despite she did so much spiritual practice, because she's a woman, she's resident, she asked for a baby. No, this is the inspiration of the Supreme Lord. When a pure devotee, when a surrendered devotees are there, anything, even a fight happening between the Vaishnavas or arranged by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Yesterday we saw the situations in a devotee's life is arranged by the internal potency, because Krishna desires so for expansion of the movement, for them upgrading themselves into a higher spiritual platform. In this way, situations are created so that our surrender for Krishna increases and increases. So this is arranged by the inner devotee's life, especially when somebody is practicing pure unalloyed devotional service. Then it is arranged by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. So the desire cannot be negated. Here purport, Prabhupada further continues. But in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The other person around us are not to yield sense gratificatory pleasure. Rather, in order to serve the Supreme Lord together in great bliss, whatever happiness we are deriving from sense gratification is tucham, nothing, it's insignificant. It's not even us experiencing, yaar. Not even we experience. We are spirit soul. We are not the body. So the bodily pleasure is really not our pleasure. It is something else which is scratching with each other. And then we get the pleasure, like the tongue is scratching with the gulab jam. That's it. But when it's to a prasadam, there's a saliva of Supreme Personality of Godhead. When that touch is coming, then the emotion or attachment for the Supreme Lord increases. And we understand that the Lord's saliva is there because Acharya Parampara offered, then there is 100% guaranteed. Then we get ecstatic emotions which are attached with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the difference between a devotee eating prasadam and a non-devotee eating non-prasadam. So here the deviation from our personal sense gratification and satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord or the devotion to the Supreme Lord is clearly discriminated by Srila Prabhupada. That is what she is asking. She is asking Krishna for, because it is mentioned in the previous purport that she simply desired, oh, my sons have to be protected. Then, oh, Vrishnis also have to be protected. So should I allow Krishna to go or stay? Should I what? Like this, she's confused because of the bodily attachment. Rather, she should serve Krishna by saying that, okay, Krishna, how can I serve you? Finished. What should we do now? Then Krishna says, okay, do like this, like Arjuna asked. Sishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. So amazing, like this. So here the desire changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consist of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. So material can be transformed into spiritual. External energy can be transformed into internal energy. I have a table or I have a laptop. I can use it. I have a table. I can use it to have an altar or write my Bhakti Shastri notes, or I'm reading Prabhupada books on the table, or I'm serving prasadam for the devotees on the table. Then I'm using it internal potency, the external energy. If we ask what is a table, for neophytes, a table is a material or spiritual. They say that material. They don't see the Krishna around or devotional service around. But that two are the only truths. The Jiva, the Supreme Lord, and the devotional service are the only truth existing in the material world. Otherwise, nothing else. So then they say it is material, but no. You can transform that material into spiritual by utilizing it in the service of Krishna. Immediately it becomes worshipable, or very, very carefully we have to maintain those items which are actually used for service of Krishna, like paraphernalia for the service. Paraphernalia. At the same table, if somebody is cutting meat, somebody else is cutting meat on the same table, then we can say, okay, that is for sense gratification, or they are not eating unoffered food, or like this. So it is the sometimes we see it is very dangerous also. Sometimes we see people come and read spiritual literatures and they take the spiritual and they use it in order to enhance material for gaining name, fame, and glory. They read Bhagavad Gita, they say they read Trinadapi Suni Chena Tarariva Sahisuna. They Amanina Maladena leave it. They leave and they go to the public and say that very compassion, you want everything for yourself, people will not be, that is not great. You develop great qualities by being very dayalu, give everything to everybody and be compassionate. You be tolerant like a tree and you be humble like a grass. For what? For what? For continuing their sense gratification. They don't tell the Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is unchaste tongue, despite having spiritual knowledge, despite having an authoritative literature in hand, but you want to partially project because you want to gain name, fame, glory, and position among the public, where you convert spiritual into material. This is very, very dangerous. We should never be carried away by such bogus propaganda. We should be very genuinely attached to the lotus feet of Acharya Parampara. Personalities, Panchatattva, Lord Krishna, and all the characters in Bhagavatam, and all the conversations are absolute truth. And we should learn from this purport and from these personalities how they are beautifully expressing. And Guru Prabhupada is very clearly mentioning the idea of sense gratification has to be transferred into spiritual. Material can be transformed into spiritual by utilizing it in the service of Krishna. But you take spiritual and utilize it for material. For what? To become famous among people, to have many likes, many followers, name, fame, glory, followers, whatever, money, and this and that is following, and totally deviated from attaching the people to the lotus feet of Krishna. In future, I will preach. No. What you market, that is what you can sell. You cannot market something else and you cannot sell something else. That is what is indicated by Narada Muni to Vyasadeva. That you wrote all these Vedic literatures in which you have written fruitiveness. And gradually you thought you can take them to Krishna consciousness. But that gradual process will not work. But people are so addicted to sense gratification. Wherever they get, even from a spiritual person, they will look for sense gratification only. They don't want to upgrade. They are into the process of spiritual suicide. So you should directly give Krishna devotional service. You give devotional service. Preach Krishna consciousness. It's preached in the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Even in books like Science of Self-Realization, where we have conversations and lectures of Srila Prabhupada, he directly talks about Krishna. Perfect question, perfect answer. The first book also, he directly talks about Krishna. Not that I will hide Krishna, nobody will accept Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. You fool, you can't even understand that word. You don't even know the name, word, meaning. No. So there is so much bogus gurus, bogus, various transcendental person. India is full of business of transcendental so-called spiritual, because people are looking for peace. But here we are offering Ananda. Why peace? Let the peace become peace. And let the Ananda overflow. So Kevala Ananda Khanda. This is Krishna consciousness, where a person's original identity is revealed, and he will agree. For your wonder, he will agree, and he will accept Krishna wholeheartedly. I know we have many experience of atheist people who have become beautiful devotees. That is what Lord Nityananda goes and knocks the door of so many rascals and fools who are there, who are sense gratifiers, who are into meat eating, gambling. Advaita Acharya want to go into very elegant people. They will wash the lotus feet, they will worship you so much, but they will not follow Krishna consciousness properly. Very respectful community. But when Nityananda Prabhu went, anybody and everybody became crazy. Jagai and Madai were crying in the bank of Ganga for what they did, and they became pure devotees there. Samadhi Mandir is worshipable. When you go to Katwa, you can see the Samadhi Mandir. And it's worshipable here also in Madai Ghat. There is a Madai Ghat in Mayapur. So it becomes worshipable. And the personalities become pure devotees. They are dear to Lord Chaitanya. So we should be very careful that here Prabhupada is mentioning, you transfer, you become, whatever is your relationship, whatever mother, father you're having, or brother, sister, uncle, auntie, preach them Krishna conscious and make them Krishna conscious devotees rather than become detached from them. So try to somehow engage them in Krishna consciousness. And if it is they're totally against, they're putting hindrance onto you, then you need to stay away from them. Very simple. That doesn't mean you hate them. They are part and parcel of Krishna, whom we can hate. Nobody we can hate. Even external energy we cannot hate, man, because she is external energy of Krishna. How can you hate an energy and love Krishna? Holistically, we should love Krishna. Every anga, we should love Krishna. So she's telling the previous verse understanding, like how Panchapandavas were all devotees. Why she want to cut the snake pasam Imam? Please cut the snake pasam. Why she is telling that? Because let me think in favor of Krishna. Let the relative all be there, but let me see how to utilize everything. The unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure unalloyed loving devotion. So we say, okay, my family responsibilities are calling me. The family responsibility is to preach them Krishna consciousness. And if there is Guru, then if he is giving a lecture, then you should hear it. You should just hear it. How important is it to hear from Guru? Very simple. You read Prabhupada books. Prabhupada books, very simple. Elementary lesson. Bhagavad Gita is elementary lesson. Elementary, in that it's a mention. Approach a bona fide spiritual master and sincerely inquire from him. So this bogus propaganda has to be stopped, and it is very important that we understand that anything material can be converted into spiritual by engaging them in Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, unchastely, anything spiritual, you learn everything. Because one time I remember one incident, I'll tell that in complete, sorry. In South India, there is a very famous lady who is very famous as God or incarnation of God, or she is worship of Bhakta, devotee, very famous institution. So this lady is there. So one person, he became fried up from her administration, and he came running, and later he went into some Sabarimala and this and that, and at last he came to ISKCON. So when he came to our temple, when we were preaching, we became friends, all the devotees became friends, and then he was gradually taking up chanting Hare Krishna and sincerely, and he was practicing very nicely. So he explained one thing. He said that the lady who is very famous, she is not even literate. She is totally illiterate and she doesn't know speak anything spiritual. So, but she releases monthly magazine and books like Back to Godhead and books. And he said he was in that department. He's a nicely educated boy, educated person. So he said that he was working more than 4 or 5 years in that department, paying money. Of course, they were paying money. And there will be a library in which mostly it will be Prabhupada books and other spiritual persons, so-called books, mostly Prabhupada books. And they used to take from that book and write into that into saying that article, saying that she is speaking. She doesn't want to speak anything. Somebody comes, she'll hug and she'll smile. That's all she'll do. And they were taking and they were manipulating many things and they were writing. So this is converting spiritual into material. They wanted for their own name, fame, glory, position, followers. Same way, we should be very, very careful that in order to say that, okay, if you are very submissive, people want to other person to serve them. They don't want other people to serve Krishna. You don't want to be you don't be Guru's servant, you be my servant. People are looking, the controlling attitude is always there. Even nature's call cannot be controlled by them. They cannot control their nature's call for one day. One day you lock the restroom in their house. They cannot control, but they want to control. So this controlling attitude, you are my servant attitude is always there. This is what is entangling us in the material world. Even demigods are entangled due to this cause only, despite their devotees. Despite every yajna you offer goes to Vishnu. And demigods doesn't eat anything other than prasadam. And they worship salagram and put it in the kandaki. But still, they are entangled within the material world because of the controller attitude. Instead of offering everything to Krishna, instead of Guru and Krishna are the authorities, and we need to offer anything we have for them. Personally, nobody will even listen to us one word if we speak. If we speak, somebody is listening. It is the authority which is given to us by Guru and Krishna. So we should understand everything, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. So not to anybody. So here she is very clearly telling, I want to cut the knot of affection between this Panchapandavas and also Vrishnis. They may be Vasudeva, Devaki, they may be Panchapandavas, Arjuna, who's dear friend of Krishna, but still I want my attention should be into you, so that I will have unalloyed loving devotional service and I will see all my relatives in the service of you. I will see everybody in the service of you only. Not for me, not in my service, but in your service. This is the difference. This is a very beautiful verse. How Ganga is flowing directly towards the ocean. Without any hindrance, my attention should be flowing unto your divine lotus feet, my Lord, that without any other deviation. So in that way, please engage me in the service. How this is the way of devotional service. Prabhupada concludes by saying, seeing the darkness is not seeing, but seeing the light is the sun means to see the sun. And everything else, you see Krishna, you see everything. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hayan Takar, Jahan Krishna Maha Nahi Maya Radhikar. So only if I see, I will see in the right vision. So beautiful. So this is the way of devotional service. So very beautiful. We cannot, how much we are indebted to Srila Prabhupada for these purports. Because by reading only the sloka, people may go sentimental, saying, okay, Ganga is flowing like that, you should flow, you leave your family and run towards Krishna, become full-time devotee, you have a good job, but still you resign and become a full-time devotee. And they may show, but see the purport. And they will, then we will understand how Yukta Vairagya, wherever we are, whatever you are. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says an intelligent person will not disturb a person who's engaged in some occupational duty and is carrying on based on his karma, whatever is arranged for him, a situation. An intelligent person will not, this sloka is repeated twice. An intelligent person will not deviate him from that occupation. But he will engage him in Krishna consciousness wherever he is, however he is. Haridas Thakur, he gave a blessing to the persons who are staying in the prison. Stay wherever you are. Stay here only and be as you are. Then they were very irritated. What is this? They became very morose, disturbed. Then they asked, we asked a blessing and you are giving this. Oh, they expected you get released from the jail. This is the blessing. He's a Brahma, he can release anybody. And Gopas also he put into sleep and taken away. Why not release these people? But you stay as you are, wherever you are, and then practice Krishna consciousness. Insofar there is no meat eating, gambling, illicit sex and intoxication. Any occupation, you can be there and just practice Krishna consciousness. It is nothing required. Utsaha, nishchayat, dhairyat, tat karma, pravartanat. Just do. Disturb the situation. No. Not throw everything and run away. Okay, Ganga is running towards Krishna. No. It's your consciousness which has to change by understanding that Krishna is the only relative of me. Ami bina bandhu kya che tomara. This is sung by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, there's no other relative than Gauranga Mahaprabhu. See Narada Muni, see Brahma. And Narada Muni, who's a relative? Krishna's only relative. Only one mother he had, that also by snake bite. She was killed by the will of the providence. Oh, how can the mother be killed? Your bodily concept, you're a LKG fail and you want to be a PhD teacher, is not possible. Okay? So you maybe in LKG you stay. Don't try to become a PhD and come and sit among the PhD teachers and claim false identity. So these are all not required. So we should be very, very careful to stay chaste and clear in our Krishna conscious practices. Understand Krishna conscious nicely, what actually severing the detached attachment from immediate relatives mean is to engage everybody in the service of the Supreme Lord and Guru. Not claim anything for our own sense gratification. That's all. As simple as that, nothing to be changed. Wherever you are, as you are. This is a blessing in disguise. Okay, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? You can post. Vrajeshwar Prabhu, please take over.
So anybody has any questions, comments, or realization? 5, 4.
प्रभु हरे कृष्णा प्रभु
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु दिया इसमें कुंती देवी द्वारा पारिवारिक संबंध छिन्न करने का अभिप्राय यह था कि वे रक्त के संबंध को छिन्न करना चाह रही थी। यह रक्त संबंध भवबंधन का कारण है, लेकिन आत्मा का संबंध स्वतंत्रता का कारण है। ये कौन सा रक्त का संबंध था जिसको छिन्न करना चाह रही थी?
हाँ, लास्ट आपने क्या पूछा, सवाल क्या था?
सवाल है कि रक्त का संबंध भावबंधन के कारण है, लेकिन आत्मा का संबंध स्वतंत्रता का कारण है। कुंती देवी द्वारा पारिवारिक संबंध छिन्न करने का अभिप्राय यह था कि वे रक्त के संबंध को छिन्न करना चाह रही थी। ये रक्त का कौन सा संबंध था?
ये रक्त संबंध मतलब जैसा हम भौतिक शरीर के साथ जो नाता जोड़ते हैं, पिता, माता, बेटा, बेटी, पत्नी, पति, इस तरह का जो भौतिक शरीर में रह करके जो नाता हम जोड़े हुए हैं, उसको बोलते हैं रक्त संबंध। अभी अर्जुन देखो तो कृष्ण का, सॉरी, कुंती का बेटा है, और कुंती, कृष्ण जो है उनका, कुंती जो है कृष्ण का एंटी है। सो इस तरह रक्त के संबंध के वजह से जो रिलेशनशिप है उसको तोड़ने के लिए बोल रही है, क्योंकि अर्जुन जो है वो भक्त है, भक्त का सहवास चाहिए, एसोसिएशन चाहिए, लेकिन कुंती और अर्जुन के बीच में जो बंधन है उन दोनों के बीच में कृष्णा नहीं है, उन दोनों के बीच में माँ बेटा का संबंध है। तो उसको चाहिए ऐसा संबंध, आत्मा से आत्मा के साथ संबंध जो है कृष्ण के द्वारा होना चाहिए। तो वो जो है असली संबंध ज्ञान उसको बोलते हैं, और जो बिना कृष्ण का जो संबंध रहता है उसको बोलते हैं रक्तबंध। कुंती और अर्जुन के बीच में क्या संबंध है? माँ बेटा का संबंध है। उन दोनों के बीच में कृष्ण नहीं है, कृष्ण के जरिए उनका संबंध नहीं है, भक्त का संबंध नहीं है, उन दोनों के बीच में माँ बेटा का ही संबंध है। इसलिए ऐसा नातों को वो तोड़ना चाहती है। लेकिन संबंध भक्तों के सहवास में रह करके भक्तों के साथ कैसा होना चाहिए? एक आत्मा दूसरे आत्मा के साथ संबंध जो है परमात्मा के जरिए ही होना चाहिए, या कृष्ण भगवान के जरिए ही होना चाहिए, उसको बोलते कृष्ण भावनामृत। और कृष्ण भगवान अगर बीच में मिसिंग है और ये दोनों आत्मा जो है एक दूसरे को अपना जड़ शरीर मान करके माँ बेटा का नाटक रचा रहे हैं। तो ऐसे संबंध को काटने के लिए कह रही है, क्योंकि ऐसे संबंध को बोलते हैं रक्त बंध।
यस प्रभु, धन्यवाद प्रभु।
जय, थैंक यू, धन्यवाद। Anybody else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. So we will assemble again tomorrow 5 o'clock by chanting the holy name of the Lord, followed by Srimad Bhagavatam. Gandhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय। भागवत सत्संग की जय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।